In this video, I want to show you how I paint a door with latex paint using only an HVLP gun. For the paint, I'm using Glidden Paint and Primer in 1. This is just cheap paint from Home Depot. Some Floetrol by Flood. This is a paint conditioner so it levels out better. This is a cheap HVLP gun from Harbor Freight. This costs about $9 on sale. I'm going to prep the door by cleaning it with some TSP and a rag. For PPE, I have some latex gloves, some goggles, and a particulate filter. This is a pre-primed door, so I don't need to scuff it with sandpaper. I'm only going to clean it with a TSP. While this is drying, I'm going to go mix up the latex paint. Okay, to mix the paint up, I'm going to mix the Floetrol per the instructions. It says for a paint sprayer, you can mix with up to 8 ounces per quart of paint. So that's 8 ounces to 32 ounces. As far as percent, that's 8 out of 40 or 1/5 or around 20%. So I'm going to use that as a recommendation. That's the maximum amount it recommends. For one door, I only need at most 8 ounces. That's probably too much. But I need to take 8 ounces as my total mixture. 20% of that is going to be the Floetrol. So 20% of that 8 ounces is just under 2 ounces. The finest this measuring cup uses is 2 ounces. So I just need to eyeball it and go roughly under the 2 ounce mark. Make sure and shake it up before using. So you can see I have it just under the 2 ounce mark. So I'm going to put this in my little container. The remainder of the 8 ounces needs to be paint. So I already mixed roughly 2. So I need to go a little over 6 ounces to complete the 8 ounces. This is the kind of viscosity it ends up with. You can see it's maintaining a very small profile as it drips. If it cuts off and starts forming droplets, then it's probably too thick. You should always use a paint strainer going into your paint gun. If not, if there are big particles, it could clog up the nozzle inside. I didn't put all of it into the paint sprayer just because I don't know if it's too thick. If it comes out too thick, I'm gonna have to pour it back anyways and add some water. So I'm only gonna use part of it for now. Okay, so I'm back at the door. I'm gonna open up the garage door slightly and have the fan going so overspray doesn't get everywhere. I'm also gonna be wearing my masks now. So I'm gonna start at one end and just overlap roughly 50% or so and continuing to go back and forth the entire length of the door to try to get a continuous spray pattern. That way once it settles out, there won't be any striping. Here's a close-up of what I've done so far. It's actually not that bad. The problem is I think it's too thick, so it's putting out blobs of paint more than atomizing it. The only way it's dense enough and coming out in a mist is if I put it at basically a circle, so the path is only like this big. This is going to take way too long. So what I'm going to do now is go thin it out just a tiny bit with some water and see if I could get it to atomize a little bit better. So as far as water, I'm only going to add 1 ounce to start out with. With latex paint, you don't want to water it down too much. If you put too much in, it will never dry and it won't come out correctly. So you got to be careful here. So here's roughly 1 ounce. So I'm going to put that into the mixture. Okay, this is round 2. Also, as soon as you're done with the gun, disassemble it as much as you can and clean off all the parts. Do not allow these to sit with water on them or else they'll corrode like this thing did. I need to take some sandpaper to this to smooth out the needle. Okay, my phone died at some point, but I finished painting about 10 minutes ago. I quickly cleaned the gun and I'm coming back to film how it looks. As you can see, it's drying very quickly actually. This is already dry where I started. I went back over all of these panels in here because I didn't get good coverage. As you can see, they're heavily coated now. Still no orange peel or anything. It actually laid down very smooth. I also went back over the edges because this is where I ended the passes. I didn't get complete coverage, so I went this way, perpendicular to it. Here's a better angle with some lighting. Again, this is a satin paint. This is not a gloss paint. And that is how to paint a door using latex paint with an HVLP gun. I can't find any oil-based paints that are in the color that I want, like Rust-Oleum. They're not available in my area for some reason, so I'm going to have to use latex paint. But if I get the same results as this, I think it'll be a very good finish on the front door. See the next video after I've painted the front door.